Okay, everybody, we're going to start slope. And slope is pretty easy. So remember, it is a change in grade. So when we talk about y is equal to mx plus b, it would be the m part. Okay, remember that slope is rise over run, okay, or change in y over the change in x. So we're going to first really work on finding slope in different ways. So slope of a line. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to first start out with just giving you 2 points. Okay, so how do we do this? So remember that the formula for slope is the change in y over the change in x. So we want to label these, and you can label them any way you want, as long as your y's are on the top and your x's are on the bottom. So 4/5. Now, it's a good idea to leave your slope as a fraction because it's rise over run. So if you were to go ahead and calculate it, it's just much easier if you leave it like that. Okay. And notice that this is also positive, so that means it's running uphill, so it rises. Okay. Okay, so let's try some more. So here's some examples. So -6, -2, and 1, 3. All right, you go ahead and set up x1, y1, x2, y2. So here we go. 3 minus a -2 over 1 minus a -6. Now, two negatives make a, you guessed it, a positive. So this becomes 5/7. Now, this is also positive. So we would say this slope is rising as well, or it has a positive slope. All right, let's do another one. How about this one? 2, -1, and 2, 2. All right, x1, y1, x2, y2, equals 2 minus a -1 over 2 minus 2. Two negatives make a positive, so this is 3/0. Auga, auga. Oh my goodness. 0 on the bottom. Oh my. If you have 3 divided by 0, wow. If you try to put that in on the calculator, it says undefined. Like it doesn't, you can't divide by 0. So that would be definitely, that's a no, okay? That's a number over a 0 is no slope. It's called undefined slope. And what this is, friends, if you were to graph this, let's look at this for a second. Here's 2, -1. Here's 2, 2. Oh my goodness. It is a vertical line. This is the type of line that I do not want to rollerblade on. Okay, so that does not work. Okay, now with that being said, what must a horizontal line look like? So let's do this problem. So let's do 1, 3, and 4, 3. Okay, so let's do x1, y1, x2, y2. So 3 minus 3 over 4 minus 1. Well, I get 0/3. Okay, so this one didn't cause me to do the alarm because the 0 is on top. This one is okay, okay? And it's okay because 0 divided by 3 is a 0 slope. So if I were to draw this one, okay, here we go, 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. If you look, this is a horizontal line. That means it doesn't have a slope. This is the best type of one for me to rollerblade on, one that has zero slope. Okay. You know what? Let's go back up to the top and let's do a problem up here that actually has a negative slope. Okay. So this, for example, this one is rising. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and then 1, 1, 2, 3. So see, this line is, when I look from left to right, so you see how I'm climbing the mountain? Okay. So let's do one where, jinkies, we're going to be negative. Let's do -3, 5, and 4, -6. Okay? x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, here we go. -6 minus 5 over 4 minus a -3. All right, lots of negatives involved there, everybody. So this looks like a -11 over 7. Now, I like this because I'm going to leave that negative. It doesn't matter if the negative's on the top or if it's on the bottom. I always, always, always put my negative on the top because you should always go up or down, but you should always go to the right. So it makes sense. Do you see how this is a negative slope? So if I were to look at this and do a quick graph, just so you have a visual. You see how from left to right, it falls. Okay, so we have rises, falls. So you know what? I'm going to take my highlighter here, and I'm going to kind of highlight our. Okay, so vertical line, horizontal line, zero slope, falls, and rises. So those are my different types of slopes that I have involved there. Okay. I want you to also pay attention. I'm going to talk about one other thing. So I want to look at how to tell points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, say you're given a graph. Okay, and I'm going to go up here to, it says -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3, -1. Okay, so I just kind of want to demonstrate to you, you have options now. You have 2 points here. I'm telling you what they are. You could do m is equal to m, you can do x1, y1, x2, y2. You can also count if you want. And remember, you have rise over run. So in this case, I would want to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. So my slope is -6 over 5. Well, let's see if that works. x1, y1, x2, y2. Here we go. -1 minus 5 over 3 minus a -2. Well, look at, I got it. -6 over 5. So that just supports. Now, is it falling? You should always make sure when you get done, does that support what your answer is? Okay, the last two things, we're going to deal with parallel and perpendicular. Okay, parallel and perpendicular. So classify the points, whether they are parallel or perpendicular, or don't forget about neither. All right, so here we go. Line number 1 is going through these 2 points. All right, so here's what you got to do. You got to find the slope of each of these lines. I mean, that's all there is to it. So you need to go through and you need to label x1, y1, x2, y2, x1, y1, x2, y2, and you need to find out the slope of each line, okay, before you even get started. So I'm going to go 5 minus a negative 1 over 2 minus a negative 3. Oh, lots of these double negatives. I get 6 over 5. Okay, this is for line 1. All right, line 2, 1 minus a negative 4 over negative 3 minus a negative 3. Oh, hang on. I think I wrote something. Yep, this is supposed to be a positive. Whoops. So there we go. That's supposed to be all right, here we go. 5 over a negative 6. This is line 2. Okay, now, here's the thing. And I should have put this all together, okay? So notice how if it's parallel lines, that means that the lines never intersect, okay? Perpendicular is that so I'm going to draw a picture. Here's 2 perpendicular lines, same slope. So right away, is line 1 and 2 have the same slope? They do not, so they're not parallel, okay? Now, the next question is perpendicular. What does it make it to be perpendicular? So a right angle, okay? 90 degrees. They are the opposite reciprocals, okay? Or opposite fliprocals. One has to be positive and one has to be negative. So let's look. This is positive, this is negative, and the reciprocal is a flip. So are these fliprocals of each other? Yeah. So these two are perpendicular. All right. Give me a quick second. Okay, so here we go. Here's our next one. Okay, here we go. X1, Y1. Now, the question is, what do you do if they're not the same? And what do you do? Okay, what's 4 over 2, by the way? Yep, that's 2. So that's line 1. Line 2 is 22 minus 24 over 5 minus 6. So that's a negative 2 over a negative 1, which is 2. Whoa, these are the same. So that means, you're right, they're parallel if they have the same slope. So what do you do if it's not the reciprocal? And what do you do if it's not the same? Well, then you go to the option of neither. I mean, it's entirely possible for two lines to intersect and they don't have the same slope. So your job is to really work on slope this week, okay? All right, see you later. Thanks.